What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is BBK Dragoon, and welcome back to the Beginner's Guide Part 2. Joining me today, the special guest who's going to be very helpful in demonstrating a lot of techniques, is MVito, the Dawn of Halo, a competitive Gears of War player and Halo veteran. He joined me on last year's Halo 4 Beginner's Guide. Say what's up, MVito.
What is going on, guys? What's up with you, Dragoon?
Oh, not much, man. We're going to do our best to teach as much as we can today in the time that we have.
Sweet.
The guide will be organized into two halves. The first half will cover fundamental gameplay techniques that MVito and I will demonstrate. Then the second half will be a gameplay analysis where those fundamental techniques are being used in a matchmaking CTF game. The Strafe is essentially your ability to prolong life during a gunfight. By moving side to side whilst maintaining your aim on the opponent, you create a more difficult target for your opponent to strike. The basic format of the Strafe is left, right, but every strong player has their own Strafe, full of their own tricks. The length and frequency of your Strafe can and needs to be used in a unique way to throw off your opponent. Do not be predictable. Try and fool the enemy with your movement as much as possible. Remember, the longer you are alive in a gunfight, the greater chance that you will potentially win that fight. Sprinting is your key to map movement. It enables you to cross extremely large expanses of land very quickly. This will be your bread and butter move for setting flanks on your opponents. There are two things that need to be aware of, as well as cautious about. If you are shot while sprinting, your Spartan will be staggered and slowed. This is to prevent sprint from overpowering the rest of the game mechanics, so be cautious about when you try and escape. You might not have the speed that you anticipated if your opponent is able to get shots on you during your exodus. Also, there is about a 1 second delay between the end of the sprint animation and the return of your gun's crosshairs. As you can see here, during the end of the sprint animation, you cannot shoot. There are a set frames in which your Spartan is completely useless and vulnerable. With that said, avoid sprinting around corners as well as sprint juking. If there is danger in the area, play cautiously and remember the risk that sprinting can put you in. Grenades are probably your most powerful zoning tool aside from certain power weapons. Grenades allow you to prevent pursuit as well as control an area easily. They are sparse though in Halo 4, and without the resupply perk, you won't be able to retrieve more nades from opponents or friendly bodies. Corner nades are an effective way to control space, but timing your throw and trajectory carefully are important. Preemptive nades usually return more success than an offensive nade in Slayer-based game types. Use your nades to stop opponents' pursuits and to buy your Spartan time to either escape or relocate. In objective game types like King of the Hill, nades can yield deadly results if timed well. The jump is simple to execute but extremely powerful when used well. The jump can be used to access difficult flanking routes, easy escapes, avoid a power weapon shot like a rocket, as well as shock your opponent by throwing off a shot or two. Jumping is crucial to map control. Be wary though of spamming jump. An opponent will catch on to this quickly and can make an easy correction if he predicts your leap. Also, Gandhi hopping is where you jump in a battle and you crouch in the air multiple times, and this causes the head of your Spartan to bob up and down, making the hitbox a little bit more challenging for your opponent to hit. Don't overuse the Gandhi hop, but it's important to use when you are one shot and can definitely give you the upper hand in a gunfight that you're losing. The radar defines a great deal of your map movement and your decision-making process. Let's explore the basics. Red dot with an arrow above indicates an opponent above you. Red dot with an arrow below indicates an opponent who is underneath you. A regular red diamond is a foe who is on the same height level as you. Learn this basic code and ingrain it into your play. A solid understanding of the radar and the way it works will help define your map movement and in-game choices. It's worth noting that the experienced competitive players do not rely upon the radar for this map information, but rather call out to game audio and just experience. The icons above your teammate is not only helpful for movement, but it's crucial in avoiding dangerous situations. Notice when your teammate fires, the icon visually has a distinct style that indicates that your teammate is firing. There is also a visual indicator that showcases when your teammate is taking damage. Use this information to help plan smart movement, either to aid your team or evade dangerous gunfights. And welcome to the second half of the guide, where you're going to see those fundamentals used here in a gameplay. This is a high-level CTF on Simplex. I'm playing with Schmeckeldorf, who is a really strong player. His link will be in the description. He also YouTubes, but very tight game. We end up actually timing the clock out. That's how tight this match was. We weren't able to get all 5 caps, but it is a good game, and I'm hopeful to explain all of those fundamentals that I went over in the first half here in the second half. So right off the bat, the blue team got an early flag cap, which is awful for us. The momentum is down. We we want to get another cap off as quick as we can to even the match, because they just got 2 caps right off the beginning of the game, uncontested, very well coordinated, and very quick. We didn't get on the power weapons we weren't on the power weapons close enough off the start, basically. Anyway, my goal is to get a flag cap as quick as possible, and then to capture the railgun. Railgun is the power weapon on this map. It spawns top purple. It's very, very important. So let's talk about the strafe and all the, gunfights here. A lot of the players are using DMRs, which makes the strafe very critical, right? So I saw the flag was down, made sure to get it. My focus after this cap is going to be getting a power weapon in my hand, because map control is critical in Halo. You want to hold positions of power, and you also want to hold power weapons. A lot of times where the power weapons spawn usually are power positions. They're areas that you want to hold down specifically, basically. Notice on the radar, I saw that there were 2 players chasing me. I'm one shot. This is why I'm not going around the corner just yet, because it's a danger. It's a risk. Once my shields had come back up, I used my radar and made the decision to go around the corner. The radar is really important. Notice now my focus is getting that railgun, and now I have a power weapon. Now I get to control the defense of my base. Rather than play overly risky right now, I want to use this power weapon and start slaying so my teammates can push up the map and we can take sort of a foothold in this game. Notice again, I'm using the radar to predict their movements, constantly watching it, making sure I know when they're going to come around the corner, and timing my railgun shots. Notice you can fire the railgun before the charge is complete. So as you're charging up the railgun shot, pull the trigger again before the charge is released, and you can actually fire the weapon like pretty early. It doesn't take much time to charge it up, which is why it's such a strong weapon. Notice now that we've done some slaying, my teammates have moved up. They've made a pull. They've killed some opponents, and now we're trying to get this cap off, which is great. We want to stay alive here. If we start dying while he's carrying the flag, there'll be nobody left to slay. They do a counter pull on us, and I think I die actually right here in a second. I do. The flag carrier lures me around the corner, and flag carrier gets a one-shot melee. So good play on him. That was bad radar awareness on my part. Make sure that, when you see an enemy's blip disappear around the corner, it's fair to assume they're just waiting around that corner to get you. So in this next segment, you can still see here we're down 1 point. It's still 2-1 in the blue team's favor, but I know that the OS is coming up in just a second. So using my sprint and my map awareness, I grab the OS, and now I tell my team, push up. We've got the chance to be aggressive. The OS is basically a power weapon. It basically gives me more time in gunfights, which gives me more opportunities to kill, right? The longer you're alive in a gunfight, more opportunities there are for you to win that gunfight. So push heavily into their base. We're trying to get a lot of control, trying to make sure these guys cannot get that flag cap since they have the red flag in the base. If they were to get that red flag cap, a lot of trouble that we'd be in as the red team. Notice the grenade there. That was a corner nade in a sense. I knew he was at the top of the ramp. I timed my nade to when he walked into it. That way I didn't have to shoot as much at him. Notice I'm looking on my radar. I see that there's a guy below me. My teammate takes both of them out. Schmeckeldorf is a monster. Thank you, Schmecks. Your link, again, in the description. I return to top purple because I know Railgun's going to spawn here very shortly and push into the mid to try and get that guy top gold out of here. Now I predict his corner nades. He thought, oh, this guy's going to charge right at me. I'm like, no, I'm backing off. I'm not going to run into your grenades. Make a nice little pull there onto the floor. Get under their base, which is easy for me. I'm listening to my teammates heavily and then make a huge mistake running around the corner, not paying attention to the radar, and get killed by the flag carrier. We end up getting a cap in the time that that last play happened. I pull Railgun again. Remember, I said Railgun was coming up. Got to be really aware of these power weapons. You've got to time them and need to control them if you want to own the match apart, right? Yeah, we want to own the match apart, baby K. Get this guy out of the base, or at least try to. Great corner nade, great prediction by him. Notice, nades are so great for predicting enemies' movements. They stink in offensive situations. Like if that guy was going to just charge into me, it wouldn't work. OS is up. I see that guy there. Teammate pulls the OS, which means we've now got the momentum. Now it's time to push up the map. And as you can see, Halo is so push-pull, right? It's all about when to go and when not to go, when to play safe and when to engage. And that's only going to come with time and experience. You guys are going to have to practice a lot. Part of the beginner's guide last year focused heavily on watching your own replays and as well as just practicing. And I think I'm going to touch on that a little bit more in the part 4 of the guide. Talk more about the mental side of practicing and what it means to actually practice, right? And a lot of it comes down to watching your replays. I think a big reason YouTubers, you see sort of an increase in skill when a YouTuber starts YouTubing is because they're watching their own gameplays consistently, seeing where they screwed up, seeing where they did something right, and analyzing that. And I can't encourage you all enough to watch your own replays, especially the losing replays. It's really gratifying experience to notice here. Sorry, I'm getting pushed by 3 people here on the radar. I'm in a horrible position, out of ammo with the railgun. My whole goal there is just to live, and I think I escaped. Yes, nice escape, which was bad on the blue team. They missed a chance for a kill there. We're able to pull back and get some more momentum here. Notice again, a full focus here is on using my radar, using my strafe, grenades, and jumping. I mean, really just fundamental things. As far as improving your accuracy, a question that a lot of people ask. I die here. Very, very good name by him, using that pulse nade, completely taking my shields down. We jump a bit further in the game here. We get 1 flag cap up on him. I get a nice double kill as they're trying to steal the flag, saying, no, not going to be able to take that flag. Making sure that it gets back to the base. When we have a lead, when you have sort of a foothold, if it's Slayer, if it's objective, you can sort of sit back and play a little bit defensive. And you have an advantage in that case because you can predict your enemy's movements. You can choose where you want to throw your pre-nades and throw those corner nades. It's a little bit harder to be the aggressor. You have a little bit more of an element of luck and chance on your side if you're trying to push somebody, right? You don't know if they're going to have a great defense or not. As I was saying earlier, watch your replays, I know, and accuracy. A lot of people want to know, how do you get your shot better? And quite plain and simply, check out this jump, by the way, too. A lot of people didn't think you could jump from simplex base to the mid, but you actually can if you sprint on that ledge first. So it's important to not only know how to jump, but know the intricate jumps that are on the map, because so many people don't know that jump that off the bat, you can 95% of the time get the OS, right? Because most people think you have to run to the sides to get to that middle jump, right? Nope. You just play the game enough and talk with others and, you know, watch replays. That's, I think, where I learned that jump was from Team Killer, watching back a replay that we were playing together, and Team Killer made that jump. So, as you can see, it's 4-2 here. The clock is winding down. Game's pretty much over here. Not going to get the last cap in, but really strong game, a lot of slaying, and I hope it showcased some of the fundamental techniques that I was talking about. Really, you guys, all it comes down to is practicing the game. Octagon is great for accuracy, but I can just tell you, if you play the game every day for an hour, it's like practicing an instrument. Your shot is going to improve. If you take like 4 or 5 days off, yeah, you're going to see a drastic drop in your accuracy. So I think accuracy really just comes down from playing the game a lot and being comfortable with your sensitivity. You can't be thrown at all willy-nilly. Anyway, let's check that score screen out there. 4-2, clock ended. I tried to shorten it up. Like I said, a full 15-minute CTF can get long. Schmeckeldorf played very strong. We got a lot of power up into the other team, and they were a strong team. In this last portion of the guide, I'll be talking about practicing and the mental outlook that is required for optimal practice. At whatever level play you are at, practice is important and will always be your ticket to improvement. I've outlined the basics to gunfight mechanics here a little bit earlier. Now it is up to you to perfect each of the aspects of that gunfighting and develop your own style. This all comes through practice, but there is indeed an optimal way to practice that will help you improve much quicker than your average player. Now let me explain. There will be days where you just get absolutely crushed, where game after game is a loss, and it just feels like you're being outplayed all day. Every player hits plateaus like this, and when I say everyone, I literally mean everyone. Even the pros have their off days. What separates the pros from the amateur is their complete understanding of what a loss truly means. To the unexperienced player, losing a game or getting outplayed creates an emotional reaction of frustration. This frustration only grows and completely affects the performance of the player. Simply put, when you're frustrated, you make rash decisions in-game, which then turns and leads into more frustration. The pros play for hour and hour each day, experiencing the full range of games, from crushing victories to sweeping defeats. How do they maintain their calm? It's very simple, but hard to master. When a pro or experienced player loses, they understand that they were given a chance to learn from their mistakes. The unexperienced player will brush defeats off with comments upon game imbalances or power weapons that they don't particularly like. They miss out completely on the chance that they were just offered to improve their own play. The pro understands that yes, while there may be weapon imbalances and quote-unquote cheap techniques, we're all playing the same game here. Everyone has the exact same tools to succeed as their opponent, disregarding infinity settings. When a pro loses in a tournament, they will go back and look at their replays from the VODs. of that tournament, analyzing their play, breaking down every specific point in the match, what could have been improved in their gameplay and what could have been changed. And in Halo, there is always, and I repeat always, something you could have done differently. To ever brush off a loss as, well, nothing we could have done, just delays your ability to learn from your mistakes and improve. So what's the fastest way to become a master at practice? Well, number one, avoid frustration completely. If the game, or a match in particular, really frustrates you, I cannot urge you enough, don't start up another match. Go get up, walk around, take some deep breaths, grab something to drink, and come back. At this point, if you're still not cooled down, go back and watch the replay. This is the other key thing that I think most new players miss out on. Watching your own replays is easily one of the fastest ways to improve your own play. I've experienced this firsthand with YouTubing. After I started YouTubing a few years back Halo consistently, I improved very quickly because I routinely was watching back my own gameplay and other gameplays from other Halo channels. This easily let me see my mistakes and areas that I needed to improve upon. By watching other players on YouTube, I learned styles and techniques and routes that I'd never thought about before. Watching your own gameplays, especially the losing replays, will drastically speed up the time it will take you to improve. I routinely make mistakes and cringe sometimes when I view back certain decisions in my gameplays, but that's good and it's important. By seeing those mistakes, I now know how to approach my next game with a better mindset, better equipped for victory, and better equipped to win. A note to players who don't have headsets, I'd highly recommend that you pick yourself up a pair of headsets. Using TV speakers is just going to be too difficult to like pinpoint sound. A lot of Halo is sound-based, a lot of reactionary-based sounds. Do I hear my friend running above me? Or, oh, that's not my friend, that's an enemy. Or I hear somebody shooting over there. So headphones are really important to your play. If I can, I'd encourage you to use wired controllers over the wireless. The wireless do have a little bit of lag, and, you know, the high-end pros, you know, everybody's using a wired controller at that level, but I'd encourage you try and use a wired controller if you can. If you have a wireless, I've never noticed the lag that much, or I don't know if I've ever even noticed the lag before, but I do know that a lot of the pros, well, all the pros recommend wired controllers because it's lagless. Finally, playing on a monitor can help. Sometimes if you're playing on a really big TV, they have delays, and that can make Halo really, really hard. If there's a delay on your screen towards what's actually happening within the game, that can be an issue. I'm not saying you need to go out and buy a monitor. I'm just saying whatever level of play you're looking at getting into, if you want to be like, well, I want to turn to a streamer or a pro, I'd recommend you start playing on a monitor, like an LCD or something like that. HDMI is fine, but something with low response time, like 2 ms, would probably be pretty good. I'm not saying you have to go out there and buy an entirely new kit. I'm certainly a firm believer that you can get good on whatever setup you have. We all started out as couch warriors, and I certainly have met a lot of great Halo players who rock TV and speakers and a couch, but headphones, wired controller, and monitors are the choice of the pros. And that's going to wrap up the Halo 4 Beginner's Guide. First part gave you some basic techniques to gunfighting and tried to demonstrate how to use those techniques. Then we went into a little bit of some gameplay analysis on CTF, and finally wrapping up with the mental outlook that is required for optimal practice. If you guys rewatch just that last little bit about watching your own replays, it's so important. Start watching your own gameplays. If you don't, your play will improve much faster than you expect. I promise you that. But if you have any questions, let me know down below. I'm a little bit faster at answering on Twitter and Facebook just because it's hard to open up YouTube, usually on campus, because videos and noise and all that stuff like that. I'm usually more on the Twitter side of things, but if you leave a comment below, I'll try and answer it. If you have questions or there's areas of your play that you're just like, BBK, I don't get it. I'm watching the video and it's still not working, and gosh. Let me know down below, and I will try my best to address it either in further content or in the comments section. Part 3 of the guide, we're going to look into advanced techniques in gunfighting and a lot of team tactics, and then part 4 is going to be long-term improvement. So it's a lot like my Halo Reach guide last year. So some of the content has changed because the mechanics of Halo 4 are quite different than Halo Reach, but a lot of the core fundamentals for long-term improvement haven't changed too much. thanks for watching. If I could ask one little favor, if you found this at all helpful, or if this improves your play in a way that you wish to share this video, that would be much appreciated on my end. I put a lot of effort into this series. I did with the Reach one, and I tried to do the same with this series as well. So with that, you guys, I'm BBK Dragoon. If you have questions, like I said, the Twitter and the Facebook, or YouTube, because I do hang out in the comment section below. We'll talk with you later, and good luck out there matchmaking it up in the pubs.